Hey everyone, it's Michelle Fawcett from Dreaming Dilettante, and I'm coming out to you with another video in the Designer Dilettante series, and this is part of our April PJ Party celebration. And if you're not already taking part and signed up as part of our PJ Party, there's a link in the description below, and you can also read the accompanying blog post for this project, and I'll tell you all about how you can get signed up. But what we're going to be making today is this little Happy Mother's Day card. I thought the timing was pretty good. And what's nice about this card is it has a little pocket in it, and then you have all the space that you can handwrite a sentiment, or you could actually just stamp one. So if you wanted to write Mom a special note, you can do that, or you could use one of our many stamp sets to do that. It's a really simple card, and it's actually very versatile. Easy to change out the the colors, or do the same colors and just stamp a different sentiment, which you could do. Like this one, I made a thank you card. So I thought that that was something cute that you could also do. So I'm going to share with you today how to make this card. And for this card, you're going to need a piece of our Very Vanilla cardstock. And the Very Vanilla cardstock is cut 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And what we're going to do is you're going to want to take out your scoring tool, and hopefully I'm still in the shot here. And it's going to be scored at 4 1/4. Okay. So then once you score that, I'm going to fold it. My bone folder is floating around here somewhere. Here it is. Okay. And then what you're going to do is, if you see here, it's not completely lined up, and that's intentional. So what you're going to do is you can fold it back. Now you can either be very, very precise if you want, and you can kind of measure it. I tend to not be overly precise. So I just kind of folded mine back a little bit. And you don't want to score it, but what you want to do is you want to tear it. Okay? And that just gives you that little, if you look here, that little bit of torn edging right there. Now, you can do a couple things here. You can fold it back if you wanted to, or you could leave it like it is, and that's what I'm probably going to do. Okay, so the next thing you're going to need is a 2.5 by 5 inch piece of Blushing Bride. Of the Blushing Bride. Oh, sorry, this is the wrong piece. This is it. You're going to want a 2.5 by 5 inch piece of the Blushing Bride, and what you're going to do is you're going to run that through your Big Shot, and you're going to do that with our Decorative Dots folder. So I'm going to do that. Okay, and once you do that, you're going to get this really cool texture on the paper. And then what you're going to do is this piece is going to get glued maybe right about there. So I'm actually going to adhere that now. And I'm just using my snail adhesive. You could use your favorite adhesive, whatever you like. I like the snail for cards. I make a mess with liquid glue, although I have to say the Tombow is an amazing glue. It adheres so quickly, but I do manage to get it all over my fingers still. And then what I did was I just kind of folded this piece back again, and then you can crease it with your bone folder if you want. And rather than use the snail for this piece, I'm going to actually use my sticky strip, because with the decorative dots here and this piece here, it just adheres it a little bit better. So I'm just going to put that. And in all honesty, you could probably just get away with a little piece at the top and a little piece at the bottom, but I've made a couple of these, and I've found that they don't always stick closed, so I want to make sure this one does. Okay, and then you just peel off the little red backing of your sticky strip, and then you can fold this back. And then you're pretty much assured that that's going to stay the way it is. Now, some of the cards I did, and actually the sample one I did, I went ahead and I just kind of brushed a little of the Brushing Bride ink on it, but I actually think I prefer it this way. So the next thing you're going to need too is you're going to have two circles, and these are punched out with our 2.5 inch circle punch. This is our Smoky Slate cardstock, and then this one is the Blushing Bride. I ran the Blushing Bride through with the through our Big Shot with the decorative dots as well. So that's another little tidbit there, because it just gives a little bit more dimension on the card. And then I'm again going to adhere that with our sticky strip, or I'm sorry, the stamp. And you can just kind of eyeball and see how, you know, where you like the circles. It doesn't have to be an exact science. The only thing I'll tell you to make sure is that when you're applying your adhesive, that you make sure that all the adhesive stays here, obviously, so that it doesn't lock your card. Again, something I learned through trial and error. Okay. The next thing you're going to need is you're going to want, this is a piece of our Very Vanilla cardstock, and this is punched out with our oval punch. So you can, and I'm trying to look and see which punch I used for it. I think it's the 1.5 inch. I'll put it in the description, the oval punch. And this is where we're going to stamp our sentiment. So again, you can use any sentiment. I'm actually taking from Teeny Tiny Wishes, and this has the Happy Mother's Day sentiment in it. But again, there's so many on here that you could do a card for pretty much anything. So I'm going to pull out the Happy Mother's Day as soon as I find it. Where is it? Oh, it helps if you're looking on the right side, I think. There it is. And I stamped it with the Smoky Slate ink. And you just, the Happy Mother's Day fits just. So you want to make sure you try to line that up as best as you can on there. And then what I did was I took one of my, here they are, one of my little sponges and the Smoky Slate, and I just went around the edge of the Happy Mother's Day oval just to give it a little more depth. Now, if you wanted, you could use Blushing Bride to coordinate with that if you prefer that. Because this was going to be against the Blushing Bride this time around, I decided to try the Smoky Slate. Since it's going to be laying on here, I thought it would make it pop just a little bit more. And again, you could also use dimensionals if you wanted to pop these up. Okay. Now the last piece that you need to do is you want to adhere on the top and the bottom. You want to just put one strip of snail and close it, and that's what forms your little pocket for your card. Okay? So now to make the card, the inside part of the card itself, what you're going to need is, this is, let's see, I'm trying to look at my notes here. This is a 3 1/4 inch by 4.5 inch of the Smoky Slate. This is a 3 by 4 1/8 Blushing Bride. And then I did a 2 3/4 by 4 inch of the Very Vanilla. And then you're just going to layer these up. So I'm just going to use my adhesive. And I use it on all 4 sides again, just because I want to make sure it stays where it's supposed to. And you, again, you want to I mean, so if you're very precise, you can measure, but I'm not very precise. So I just kind of eyeball it until I like the way it looks. Okay, and then the very vanilla goes in the center. All right, and that's going to be your insert. And then what I also did was I stamped from our Petite Petals. I love this stamp set. I use it quite often. And what I did was I stamped 3 flowers and then punched them out, so you can see here. Now, of course, you can choose any of the ones that you want. I liked the definition on some of these, like little more detailed ones. So I think I did one of each. But I'm just going to pick some by random this time. And I chose to do, again, more of the Smoky Slate than the Blushing Bride, only because the base, really, of this card was Blushing Bride, so I thought the slate makes everything pop just a little bit more. Now, you could do all the same flowers like I was just about to do, or you could do different ones. So that was the Smoky Slate. And the Blushing Bride, I'm going to do 1 flower. And what's nice is if this was a card that you wanted to do for, and make it a little more masculine or a little less florally, you could leave off the embellishments, or you could put a different embellishment. So this card, I think, offers a lot of just kind of ideas for you. But this style, you can pretty much do anything. Make a card for a wedding or a birthday. And then I'm just popping out my flowers using the coordinating Petite Petals punch. Okay. And then this is a little trick. If you want them to pop up a little bit more, you can take your mat, like or just a soft surface, really. And I'm using the back of my piercing tool, and you just press in the center, and it just kind of curls up the flowers a little bit. Now, if you're going to mail this, you may want to skip this step because it just might, they'll probably get flattened again in the mail. But if they're hand giving this gift, it'll be perfect. And then I'm going to use my dimensionals, just because I want to give them a little lift. Again, if you're going to be mailing this, you probably want to skip this part. But you're going to want to keep that in mind as well when you're making your envelope. That you've added a little bit of a depth to it, I guess is the way to look at it. Okay, so you have all your little flowers adhered there. And then I'm taking my little rhinestones, which I think I spoke about this in another video, how I got these and I really didn't think I would use them that much, and it's amazing because I'm not really a bling kind of person, but these add just a little interest and fun to your projects. And then your card slides right in. Now what's nice is if you slide it in, you can kind of position it so you get to see the flowers and the whole card. And that's it. So that's an easy little Mother's Day card that you can make. Again, click on my blog, the link in the description below. It'll take you directly to the blog post for this project, not just to my general blog. So you'll be able to find this project, and then if you want to follow it, I have all the items if you need to purchase anything, or if you're looking for anything in particular, you can do that all on the site as well. But all the details are in the blog post, the dimensions, and item numbers for everything. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to sign up for my PJ party, and I will be back with more videos. Thanks. Take care.